From MTN News, you're watching Montana This Morning.
The Lone Star Fire in Yellowstone National Park flares up due to high winds. Coming up, extra crews are now on the scene, what they are doing as that blaze grows. And find out what the two candidates for the Office of Public Instruction in Montana said on Sunday in a debate, which was seen right here on MTN. Happy Monday, Southwest Montana. If you had to be to work at 6:30, you're now late. I just share that with you, Jen Lehman, Mattawa, because it is 6:30 right now.
It is 6:30, and if you happen to be late and you want to catch more, of course, we start 4:30.
That's correct.
Yeah, so new start time.
Absolutely true.
Believe it or not, temperatures this morning into the 30s in some cases, 40s.
Right.
It is going to be a chilly day, but that doesn't mean that we don't have fire danger in store. We're watching the potential.
First time in about 5 weeks I didn't have the air conditioning on when I drove to work this morning.
You didn't need it for sure.
No, I
right
did
now,
not.
40s. There are some showers out there. A lot of this not hitting the ground. If we see rain today, it's going to be on the lighter side. Still, you may want to pack a jacket. Maybe a rain jacket is in order, especially through the early part of the day. By the afternoon, our skies begin to clear. Looks like temperatures will stay cool. Daytime highs today into the 50s, maybe near 60 degrees. Those are daytime highs. It won't last long though. Warmer temperatures on the way. We'll talk about our red flag warning coming up from Billy and Auto Weather Patio in just a few minutes.
1 day of hoodie weather.
It's a one-day hoodie weather.
And there we go, 6:31. Yep. Top story this half hour, the Lone Star Fire in Yellowstone National Park, Old Faithful, flared up to nearly 1,000 acres over the weekend. That fire burning about 3 miles south of Old Faithful near Shoshone Lake. It has caused the closure of backcountry campsites and trails near that area. Firefighters say warmer temperatures, gusty winds led to the increased activity, caused that fire to spread in spite of wetting rains that soaked part of the park last Thursday. 49 people are on that blaze right now. 2 additional engines arrived Saturday to support firefighters, strengthening protection around historic Old Faithful buildings and key infrastructure like cell towers. Those crews are not fighting the fire, but are observing it and standing by in case it changes directions and then threatens the Old Faithful area. Grand Loop Road from Old Faithful to West Thrum, which was closed for several days due to the fire, is open again, but firefighters warn the road could close again at any time if threatened by the fire or once again by that heavy smoke. In related stories, Cinnabar fire that has been burning for about a week and a half in the Bitterroot Valley, still 0% contained. It's just under 2,000 acres. Now, as the cold front came in yesterday, that fire became more active. Lolo National Forest says it was active again yesterday afternoon, burning in the Ferret Creek area, northeast towards the 2007 sawmill fire scar. An unmanned aircraft system, which is a UAS, was deployed yesterday to collect data, mapping it at 1,955 acres. And the Bear Creek fire has burned almost 12,000 acres, is now listed at 85% contained. It was caused by lightning, continues to burn west of Dillon in the Lemhi Pass area on the Beaverhead Deer Lodge National Forest. Currently, 46 people are still fighting that blaze. Crews are mopping up, securing a fire break line where the fire has not yet contained. Now this morning, command of the fire goes back to the local forest incident commander. In other headlines this morning, Montana Highway Patrol says 2 people died in a rollover crash on Interstate 90 between Three Forks and Manhattan Saturday afternoon. According to MHP, 41-year-old woman, 14-year-old girl were traveling in a vehicle that rolled and were pronounced dead at the scene. That crash happened around 1:30 Saturday afternoon near mile marker 284. 46-year-old man was driving eastbound on Interstate 90 with passengers when his vehicle began to enter the median at a right curve on the road. Man overcorrected to the right, then to the left. His vehicle entered and crossed the median, then went into a roll across the westbound lane of the interstate. Man's vehicle struck a second, driven by a 31-year-old woman as it rolled. A total of 7 people were involved in that crash, 3 others reportedly sustaining injury. Both lanes of Interstate 90 were briefly closed Saturday. Montana Highway Patrol says the incident remains under investigation. And Montana Highway Patrol says a Missoula man died in a single vehicle crash just south of Anaconda Friday night. Troopers say it happened around 9:30 in the evening on Secondary Road 569, mile marker 15, which is in Deer Lodge County. According to MHP, a 62-year-old man was traveling southbound when his Subaru Impreza left and re-entered the road several times. Man was not wearing a seatbelt. The car rolled off the road. Troopers say alcohol not a factor, but high speed is suspected. Also yesterday, MTN broadcast the first of 4 debates between candidates running for statewide offices. Haven't received much attention during this election season. MTN's Jonathan Ambarian has more on the debate featuring the major party candidates to lead the Office of Public Instruction.
The election for Montana's Superintendent of Public Instruction is the only statewide race this year that's a rematch. Republican Elsie Arnson defeated Democrat Melissa Romano in 2016. Both candidates are running again this year, and MTN recently hosted them for a debate. The debate aired on MTN stations statewide Sunday morning. Arnson said her experience makes her the best choice to advocate for schools during a challenging time.
It's very challenging if you don't have a relationship built with the legislature, and I have had one over 14 years now, making sure that their promise to fund our public schools does occur, and making sure that their stability is put back in to our school board rooms where they can fund our public school teachers.
But Romano said she didn't believe Arnson had been forceful enough in support of public schools.
Every student in our state deserves a leader at the Office of Public Instruction, someone who's going to show up and advocate for them. So I will be very present at the legislature, and I will be advocating for bills that would benefit Montana students. I will be opposing bills that are detrimental to Montana's public school system.
Romano said one of her main priorities as superintendent would be supporting public funding for preschool.
I know how important it is to reach and intervene early in a child's life, and public preschool it's absolutely time that we invest in public preschool and our young learners. We know that it will benefit long beyond when they're 5 and 6, well into when they're adults.
Arnson said her office has put effort into improving student readiness, and she wants to keep focusing on that.
This begins in middle school. You know, we can add a brand new cohort of students, but those other children are left behind. And let's invest, not only invest in our children, but let's have a more robust conversation with our private partners.
In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
Now, if you'd like to watch that full debate, you can find it on our website. By the way, next Sunday, MTN Chief Political Reporter Mike Dennison will host a debate with the 2 major party candidates running for state auditor. Well, presidential campaigning during COVID-19 expected to increase this week with less than 65 days to go until the presidential election. But as our Joe St. George shows us this morning, voting for some Americans could start as early as later this week.
More Americans are voting by mail this election season. A record number of absentee ballot requests are expected nationwide, and that means more Americans will be voting earlier this year as well. While the next big event on the political calendar is the first presidential debate on September 29th, ballots are going to be mailed out in the near future. Take a look at this. When some swing states are starting to mail out their absentee ballots. In North Carolina, absentee ballots start being mailed out this Friday. In Pennsylvania, the week of the 14th, absentee ballots will be mailed out. September 17th, Wisconsin starts mailing theirs. September 18th, Minnesota. September 19th, the swing states of Michigan, Georgia, and Texas start mailing out their ballots. Of course, just because someone has their ballot doesn't mean they have to vote right away. It will be interesting to track data, though, to see how many Americans vote before the first presidential debate. In Washington, I'm Joe St. George.
That will be interesting to see what happens. 6:38, we'll continue to follow the progress. 65 days, as they mentioned. We're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, new social media trend is trip shaming when people announce they're going on vacation. Coming up, why people are taking aim at others who traveled during the pandemic and what it accomplishes. But first, let's check in with Gail King to see what's coming up at 7 on CBS This Morning.
Good morning to you. Ahead on CBS This Morning, President Trump threatens a federal crackdown on protest, while Joe Biden accuses the president of recklessly encouraging the violence. Well, the latest on the escalation in the protest in the wake of Jacob Blake's shooting in Wisconsin. Also in our School Matters series, students all around the country tell what it's been like to start college in the middle of this pandemic. Kind of scary. And we remember Chadwick Bozeman. Rolling Stone writer Trey Johnson joins us to talk about the Black Panther star's legacy in Hollywood and his dedication to the black community. Still so hard to believe that he's gone, right? It is. We'll see you at 7 o'clock.